Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to No Name Gaming. My name is Alex Light here at Racing Lights Productions, your home for sim racing. We are live at the virtual Five Flag Speedway for the American Motorsports Association's Pensacola 100. Tonight, we're at the home for the Snowball Derby, possibly one of the most popular super late model races in the country. This half-mile oval opened up back in 1953 and hosts many different series. Its 15-degree banking in the corners allows drivers to rip laps of 17 and even 16-second lap times. Coming into tonight, there's a lot on the line for drivers. Tonight is the qualifier for our first Dash for Cash race next week at Southern National. Drivers will finish in the top 4 of tonight's race, then we'll compete to see who can be the highest finisher next week at Southern National. The highest finisher of the 4 drivers next week will earn $100. Last week was a mixed bag of racing. A large field and a fight for the bottom line led to a decent amount of cautions and incidents. However, Trevor Edwards was able to keep his car clean and straight in order to get his first win. EPI also managed to have all 5 spots of the top 5 last week. Throughout practice tonight, times look to be really close and certainly will create some tight racing. With all that being said, let's go take a look at the driver's standing heading into tonight's race. So looking at the driver's standings, Trevor Edwards jumped up to first place after his win last week. You have Cody Boehm in second, Leon Keniston third. We have Kieran Church in 4th, and then Cade Green in 5th. So you can see a couple of the drivers that started at Hickory. Actually, most of them hold out the top 10. RS Center, the only driver that did not compete in last week's race or in the first race. He was the winner at Hickory. He holds on to 10th place, and then you can see we have a mix of drivers who have started one race outside of the top 10. So a couple drivers to keep aware of, though, throughout tonight's race. We had Dustin Momborquette. He had a phenomenal finish last week, kept up with Trevor Edwards the whole race, tried to put some pressure on him, just couldn't find a way around. He currently is 12th in points after his second place last week. A couple others like Josh Parrish had a really good run. Aaron Johnson had a great run. So a lot of drivers out here that don't be surprised if they make some noise here in tonight's race at Five Flags. It's going to be really interesting to see how things shape up, but looking throughout the first 2 weeks of the season, I mean, we've had some really good racing. The cars look really great. Drivers do a phenomenal job on track. It's just been great racing all around, and I don't anticipate that to change anytime soon. We have a pretty full field here tonight. Looks like we've got about 27 cars, 26 cars that will be gridding up and taking the green flag. So it's going to be some fun short track racing here at the half-mile oval, one of the fastest tracks that we're going to see throughout the season. Even though it is one of the bigger ones, it's bigger than that of like Langley and Lanier, where those are less than a half mile. A little bit bigger than Hickory. Hickory got about 14-second lap times, so this is going to be kind of like similar style, not quite the same to Southern National next week. Southern National, similar size here to Five Flags. Pretty steep banking as well. It's when we go to some other tracks, and we can take a look here at the schedule as well while we have a moment. When we go to tracks such as like South Boston, it's not a steep banking, or like Concord, it's a weird triangle shape. It's going to be an interesting one when we go there. But then we have some bigger tracks like Rockingham is a fairly large track. It's about, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, I think it's either 3/4 mile or a full mile. And then you also have North Wilkesboro, where we get it's like 18-second lap times there, so it's not as bad. Unfortunately, we are not live on YouTube. We do not have restream, unfortunately, but all broadcasts do get posted to YouTube. Usually Thursday or Friday, we'll have that up there. So you can go check that out. The past 2 races are up on YouTube right now. But yeah, tonight's race, any race we stream is streamed here on Twitch, and then we go to YouTube after the fact. But taking a look, like I said, next week will be our first Dash for Cash race. It was originally supposed to be North Wilkesboro. Unfortunately, due to some conflicts on my end, I'm not able to broadcast that race on August 8th. So the league decided that we're going to move that forward to August 1st. So tonight is the qualifier for the Dash for Cash. So going to be really exciting. The other Dash for Cash races we have on the schedule, we have Rockingham at the end of August. End of September, we will have Concord. So it's going to be really exciting to see how that plays out after tonight. But practice should be wrapping up here any moment. Qualifying is already done, but we'll get the grid up here once that is settled. And it's looking like, well, actually, don't have the qualifying. I forgot. But the warm-up, for some, it shows me the warm-up times. But right now, topping the warm-up would be Alex Greats. Justin Crow currently in second, and then Lucas Martin is in third. I believe Justin Crow, Lucas Martin are both new drivers here tonight. Drivers of the 86 and the 15 respectively. Alex Greats was a pretty solid driver last week. He was able to make some good moves, just got caught up in some stuff in that number 9 machine. But also seeing up here at the top, at least for warm-ups, we see Dustin Monporquet up in 5th. And a couple other drivers who are towards the front, like Trevor Edwards and Josh Parrish and Aaron Johnson, they round out the top 10. But again, warm-up laps don't really matter all that much because, I mean, you never know what's going to happen once we get going green. But let's go take a look here at the starting lineup as everybody starts to get in their cars and ready for the start of the Pensacola 100. And so taking the pole here tonight, Justin Crow, the driver of the 86 machine, new driver here tonight. Alongside of him will be Braxton DeWeese, who is also a new driver in the 8 machine. In the second row, you have the EPI teammates of Trevor Edwards and Dustin Monporquet. Going into row 3, Josh Parrish and another newcomer in the 88 machine, Caden Tufts. Row 4, we have Dave Bichner. I hope I said that correct. It's either Bichner or Bichner, and I apologize for saying it incorrectly, but he is driving the 3 car. Then next to him is Sean Cool. Rounding out the top 10 in row 5, we've got Nathan Bryant alongside Aaron Johnson. Going to row 6, just outside of the top 10, we have Cole Caber and Donald Clark. Then going into row 7, we have Sean Hayes and Josh Oswald. Row 8 will be Kiernan Church and Dylan Williams. Then row 9, Cade Green and Lucas Martin. Rounding out the top 20 in row 10, we have Devin Rogers and Leon Kenniston. Row 11 will be Cody Bain and Shannon Wilder. In row 12, we have Tyler Barnes and Spencer Dickinson. Spencer Dickinson did not get a lap time in. Then rounding out the field here tonight, we've got Alex Greats, Tyler Hilton, and then Andy Ennis. And it looks like, is the 20 car driving tonight? He might. No, it looks like he's just doing race control. Last time he did, we had him at Hickory. He did just do race control, so Kane Tuff says he is in the 00 tonight, so good to know. Greatly appreciate you letting me know. It happens. I mean, it's unfortunate that it doesn't line up, but I appreciate you letting me know. It makes it a lot easier than trying to have it figure it out while we go throughout the race. But you're taking a look at the 86 car, Justin Crow starting on pole alongside of him. He's on track as the 13, but he is the 8 car on the timing board. That would be Braxton DeWeese. And so 2 newcomers taking the front row, so good luck to them. They've got some good competition behind them in the 32 and the 16. Pace truck is going to be off. Once the green flag is waving, we're going to get things rolling. Barney the flagman is ready. Flag is going, and we're green flag racing for the Pensacola 100. And so early on, Trevor Edwards trying to work his way to the front, goes down to the inside here of Crow and is able to already get to the front, and he's going to try and see if he can hold it up there. And a quick jump for him to get to the front. You also have Josh Parrish behind trying to see if he can make his way around Crow and move up into second. Dustin Monporquet in 4th, and then Braxton DeWeese rounds out the top 5 right now. Some pretty tight battling all throughout the field. Further back here, side by side, this is the battle currently going on for about, that would be it looks like 8 or so, P9, P8. You've got Caber up there in the 55. You're looking at Hayes right now. He is holding on 9th place. Right behind, though, Nathan Bryant, Aaron Johnson going side by side. Aaron Johnson had to do lots of passing last week, and whoop, we lost it. Nathan Bryant there for a moment, but it looks like single file almost all the way throughout the field now, as we're 5 laps in. Nathan Bryant trying to get those tires to really stick on the top side. He can get it on the exits, but then loses a lot of momentum on the entry. As you can see, he is currently fighting side by side with Sean Cool. He tries to hold on to 11th. Good exit there from the 49, but it doesn't look like Bryant's going to be able to hold on too much longer. Adjusts the entry, goes for a wider entry, trying to carry more momentum through the corner. Works out beautifully as he carries a lot of speed. Is able to pull ahead a little bit here of the 25, but is it going to be enough to keep him in front of Cool? Looking further back, you've got some more side-by-side racing. This is the 9 of Alex Greats, already up 7 spots from the start. They're working his way around Devin Rogers and looks to maybe make another move here. He's got the 19 of Cade Green in front of him. And he was making a hard charge there. We'll see if he's going to try and dive down to the inside and see if he can make a move, or if it's just going to be a little bit of a patient drive here from Greats and see if he can just let the tires do their thing, let him come to his own, and then see if he can make some moves from there. The front few pulling away, though. The top 4 all by themselves. There's almost a second gap now from Dustin Monbarquette all the way back to Braxton DeWeese. So you've got Justin Crow, the newcomer, able to jump right in and compete here with the top drivers of the AMA late models. Doing a really good job, really keeping his own here early on in this race. Taking a look, though, a little bit further back, you've got the 00, or the 88 of Caden Tufts, trying to see if he can put some pressure here on DeWeese. And I'm sorry, that was Crow who was up at the front, not DeWeese. Gonna see if he can make a move here down to the inside. They're starting to pull away from the drivers behind, so maybe just waiting patiently is the move to go right now for the driver of the 88 machine. And keep pushing down to that bottom line. They're starting to pull away just a little bit each lap here from the drivers behind. It's not a big gap, about a half second, but the drivers in front, they have checked out at this point, over a second gap from 4th to 5th. And it seems like we're going to see similar to Hickory from those front drivers. We saw Hickory drivers just, they didn't want to rush too much with the front. They just wanted to ride it out. They had the speed. They knew they could pull away, and that's just what they focused on. They focused on pulling away, trying to keep clean, and they were able to really separate themselves once those tires really got warmed up and really got into the groove. And you can see it didn't take long here tonight as they're already pulling far away from the rest of the field. And you take a look through the field, it seems like just single lane racing so far. Nathan Bryant sliding up a little bit earlier than others there. Behind him is the 24 of Dylan Williams. And a very nice, like, retro Sunoco scheme. I like that. Looks really good there. But he can't seem to make a move here. Oh, that is the driver of the 99, Sean Hayes. Gets a little loose there coming around the corner, but is able to get that car back down to that bottom. And that really nice iridescent metallic Dodge Charger on that 99 machine. Those decals look really, really slick, but he tries to see if he can make a move back on Sean Cool. Not able to get that car down low. He's going to keep riding behind here, trying to see if he can find an opportunity. He goes a lot later on the braking than Cool, trying to see if he can really push the entry, see if he can get that nose down in there, but it's just not enough for him to find that gap. And so he's going to keep riding it out here, trying to see if he can work away down to the inside of the 25. Going to try and do it into 3 and doesn't quite get the nose in there. Almost had it. Tried to make a move, but didn't happen that time around. Let's go take a ride on board here. You can take a look just exactly what's going on here from the 99 car as he keeps trying to make pushes here on Sean Cool. And right now, everybody's just kind of minding their business, not really trying to push the issue too much. Don't want to cause an incident. Last week's race, a little messy with a bunch of cautions and just some aggressive driving, trying to fight for the bottom, and drivers just trying to fight for the same space and it not working out. But it came after Hickory, which was mostly a clean race up until the end. We'll see if we get another clean one here tonight, as it's already got this makings of what could be a very good one. 20 laps in, we are still green flag racing. Right now, it's kind of followed the leader here from this train as they try to see if they can catch the leaders, but they are about a 10th slower each lap, and you can see a little bit of patience here coming out from drivers like Hayes. He's got opportunities to maybe put the bumper to Sean Cool and make him move so he can get the position, but it's not worth it at this point of the race. Too early to be making some aggressive moves like that. Don't want to make enemies this early in the race. Oh, Oh, tuning into Alex Grates. He currently is the hard charger, up 12 spots. Started back in 25th and almost causes an early incident as he gets a tag there with the 49 of Nathan Bryant. Nathan Bryant just not having a great start here. He's fallen back a good bit. He's back 3 spots from where he first started. But Grates doing a phenomenal job. I mean, he just has great pace out of this machine. He's running the pace currently on with the leaders, about a couple hundredths off, but he also fighting through traffic right now. Those leaders don't have to worry about that right now. Lots of clean air for them. But he's been doing a really good job working his way through the field. A couple other drivers to look at. Here we've got Leon Kennison trying to see if he can make a move in the 93 pizza machine. He's got Cody Bain in front of him. But again, it's just looking like a lot of patience from these drivers. Nobody really wanting to be too aggressive early on in the race and try and cause an incident that's unnecessary. As you've seen drivers, they make moves trying to go late on the entries or trying to really push it on the outside, but nobody really trying to force anything too much. You can see again the 93 has a couple looks there onto the inside of the 78, but again, just going to wait his turn. Not really going to try and force the issue right now. Checking in with the leader. Oh, actually, hold on. Before we check in with the leaders, we got side by side here. That is Devin Rogers on the inside of the 40. That'll be Donald Clark dropping back through the field here. Now looks like the car must have just not gone in on entry here. He dives down to the inside. Oh, they got 3 wide almost. Side by side going into 3. That is Cody Bain up in front. And they are very, very tight there as they come around turns 3 and 4. The battle for 19th really heating up there. Cody Bain still leading that charge, but not by much. Will Kennison try and make a move? They're also trying to catch up with the guys in front of them. They've almost fallen off about a second from Kieran Church, who last lap didn't run the fastest of laps, but it's enough to at least pull Cody Bain back in. They're going to see if they can maybe close that gap up a little bit. You can see about a second there. Still a long ways to go, and Kennison working with him pretty nicely, trying to see if they can push forward and see if they can make that charge back into that top 15 fight. As he's going to dive down to the inside of Leon Kennison. Gets a good run, takes advantage of that wide arc there from Cody Bain, and he's going to get that job done. That is P16 for Leon Kennison. Cody Bain almost trying to make the move right on back. Isn't going to get that job done, though. So he's going to stay right in line behind Leon Kennison. So let's go check in with the leaders here. There's been a little bit of shuffling around. As we've got right now, Trevor Edwards still holding on to the lead. But you've got Dustin Momborquette is currently holding on to second place. He moved his way up. And then you've got Justin Crowe, Josh Parrish. We saw it last week. He had good speed, was up there with the leaders, but then as the runs went longer, his pace just wasn't the same as the leaders and ended up dropping back. So you see him almost a full second behind Crowe now. Crowe, first race here, doing a great job keeping up with the fastest drivers of the league. And you can already see Trevor Edwards, Dustin Momborquette kind of setting themselves apart. They have pulled away from everybody else except for Crowe. Just can't seem to shake him. And then you've got Parrish also hanging out back there trying to see if he can hold on. But our first caution comes out. Lap 36. We'll see what brought that caution out. Let's take a look here. This is the driver of the 3 car. And he must have gotten loose coming out of turn 2. And he runs a little tight on the exit of 4 and ends up making contact with somebody, and that is unfortunately going to send him to the inside wall. That brings out our first caution. Let's go take a look on board here, and actually let's go back a little bit further here. We can see what happened that got him loose coming around 1 and 2. Yeah, car just didn't want to open up. Got a little snappy on him, and so unfortunately Dave Bichner takes a little bit of damage on that back end here, and it looks like he might have caught the apron that caused him to get loose. We can ride that one more time, right on board this time, instead of looking at it from the TV camera. Yeah, you can see there's where he gets a little loose on the exit. Good save, a phenomenal save to be able to keep that car straight. But then coming through here, Yeah, just kind of hard to tell. It looks like just trying to maneuver the hot tires. Takes a little bit of damage on the back end. Shouldn't be terrible, but it's going to be just a little bit on the rear. So as a reminder, there are no tires in the pits for these drivers, so there is no extra sets. You got to take care of what you have for the full 100 laps. Nobody coming down pit road. The only one that will be coming down will be Bishner, or I hope I'm saying that correct, or Bishney. I apologize for now. Again, please let me know if I am saying it incorrectly. But he is coming down pit road to get his damage repaired. One disadvantage, not a lot of time to get damage repaired here. The pace lap's not very long. They're only about 40 seconds. But we should be getting ready to go green flag racing next time around. So we've got 2 to green. But a really great first green flag run. Made it almost 40 full laps. So we'll see if we can get that similar kind of pace. And Weiser, the YouTube channel, it's Racing Lights Productions. So you can go check that out. And that is where you will find all of our previous broadcasts. The driver's getting ready to double file. Trevor Edwards elects for the inside line, it looks like. And him and teammate Dustin Momborquette going to be on the front row yet again, it appears. So Momborquette and Edwards on the front row. Caution, this, the restart is on the leader now instead of the green flag. So once the pace truck goes off, the field is in the hands of Trevor Edwards, and it's not a long time from when the pace truck comes off to whenever we go green. You can see here from this angle. We can get rid of that there. You can take a look at Barney the Flagman. Here we go. Comes around turn 4. We're green flag racing again in the field. Fans out a little bit coming around to the front, coming into turn 1. As we head in, there was some 2 wide, almost 3 wide as the field spreads out a good bit. Momborquette on the inside, trying to see if he can lead his first lap. He has tried time and time again to pass Trevor Edwards. Made a couple really great attempts last week at Myrtle Beach. Just could not seem to get it done, even though he was on the inside line. Trying it again. Just can't seem to get that pace on the inside to work his way around Edwards. He's going to try it again. Goes for the late entry. Pushes it real tight on the inside. And it's not going to be enough to work his way around Edwards. 2 by 2 almost the entire way throughout the field. And a caution is out further back in the field. And it looks like maybe Spencer Dickinson, Nathan Bryant, Kieran Church, and some others getting involved. There are quite a few in the outside wall of turn 4. So let's go check what brought that caution out. Some really tight racing throughout the field, so it's not a surprise considering we were 2 by 2 almost throughout this entire field. Taking a look. Some checkups, so it wasn't there. Oh, wow, he got sent around there. Unfortunate for Nathan Bryan. Thankfully, no damage taken, but that is not where the incident happened. Go take a look. I believe it was maybe Alex Greats. You can see, tries to go to the inside, almost 3. No, he was 3 wide. 2 drivers just trying to occupy the same space. Somehow didn't turn all the way around. Caution came out just because of pace. You can see not a very happy Sean Cool there getting turned by the driver of the 9 car. So Alex Greats, I mean, he kept it straight at least, didn't send him to the outside. It didn't create a ton of damage for Sean. It looks like maybe a little bit on that left front. It's kind of hard to tell. We'll see a little bit better angle here as we come around turn 2. Yeah, a little bit of damage on that left front, but it doesn't look terrible. It looks pretty manageable. So the stream is not on YouTube. We post the broadcast as videos after, like in a few days. We'll post probably Thursday. It'll be up, but the broadcast is only here. So it's only on Twitch. Unfortunately, we do not broadcast. We do not live stream to the YouTube channel. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sorry about that. So 2 cautions pretty close to each other. We should be going green flag racing next time around, or after this one. We got 2 to go. But while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do our mid-race break before we go ahead and take the green flag. So your race leader right now, Trevor Edwards in 2nd place, Dustin Monborquette, Justin Crow, the newcomer, up in 3rd, Josh Parrish in 4th, and Braxton DeWeese rounds out the top 5. Caden Tufts, he's listed as the 88 on the timing board, but is 00 on the track, is 6th. Cole Caber has worked his way up 4 spots to 7th. Aaron Johnson is in 8th. Sean Cool in 9th. And Alex Greats is currently your hard charger, up 15 spots to 10th. You've got Dylan Williams. Sorry, not Dylan Williams. You've got Sean Hayes in 11th. Dylan Williams in 12th. Josh Oswald in 14th. Spencer Dickinson 13th. Leon Keniston 15th. Kieran Church 16th. Donald Clark. Then Cody Bame, Lucas Martin, and Devin Rogers round out the top 20. Then we go Sean Wilder and Andy Ennis. Then Cade Green and Dave Vishner, Nathan Bryant, and Tyler Barnes round out your field. But we are green flag racing again. And Trevor Edwards pulls himself a good bit away. But here's the battle for 3rd place. It is Crow versus Parrish. Parrish is on the outside, is not going to be able to stick it enough to keep around with Crow, and so it's going to be a 3rd place yet again here for Justin Crow. But right behind here, the battle for 4th. 3 cars really going at it on the outside. You've got Caden Tufts, and then you've got Braxton DeWeese on the inside. Right behind, though, will be Cole Caber trying to see if he can make a move. Let's dive to the inside here. Caber going to be right there in front of Tufts, and it looks like Tufts is just going to fall back, try to get in line. He's going to go for the crossover, almost gets there, but would have turned him, so good decision to back off here. As now 2x2 right behind. Ooh, Sean Hayes getting a little bit loose on the exit. He's able to keep that car straight down the front. Alex Greats now going to the outside of Sean Cool. Cool runs a bit tight. They are next to each other into the wall. Some really aggressive drafting between those two, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be too happy with each other. Sean Cool wasn't happy about getting turned by Alex Greats. And it almost looks like maybe returning the favor there coming out of turn 2. So Great's going to have to work his way back up a little bit. But that might be enough damage to slow down the 25 now, because now he's got it on both the left and right fronts. Could be creating some rubbing on the tire as well, because you can see Greats has a lot of pace here that we don't see from Cool. He's able to get into the corners a lot better, rotates the car a lot faster. So keep your eyes out, because we might have some chaos here as Greats almost gets into him again. And that's going to be Cool turning down the field. He breaks loose out of 4 and collects the 40 in that. That is the 40 of Donald Clark. And that is an unfortunate situation for him. Just caught up in that one. Nothing he can do about it. Now let's go back and see exactly, was there contact made here between the 9 and the 25? So let's find Sean Cool here. There he is. It's hard to tell. It didn't seem like, it almost seemed like the way Greats drove, but he might have. No, it doesn't look like it. Just looks like Cool breaking a little loose here coming around the corner. Tries to save it, and then nothing he can really do about it. Just tries to hold on as best he can. Let's go right on board here with Sean Cool. And you can take a listen here. It was hard to tell. It almost seemed as though the car, he might have gotten on throttle a little early and it forced the rears to kick out on him. It's hard to tell what had happened. But, I mean, I know there was some hard feelings there between him and Alex Greats from the last caution. So, thankfully, nothing nefarious comes along. I think that's the best word for it. Nothing nefarious coming out from that one. But I can see, I can see where you're coming from, Brett Suggs. It kind of seems like maybe he was trying to take him out. And, I mean, if you're not happy with somebody, I mean, and you break loose like that, I mean, yeah, if you take him out, he's going to make you feel a little bit better, but you don't like to see it. We don't want to see it. There was somebody last week, unfortunately, as it was phrased from race control, got a nice vacation this week. Instead of being at the track, they're just hanging out somewhere else in Florida because they decided they were going to repay the favor last week. Base lights on the truck are still on, so we're going to go around 2 more times before we go green. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the broadcast. Thank you again for tuning in. Greatly appreciate you guys stopping by for the Racing Lights Productions and the AMA late model stocks. You're currently watching the Pensacola 100, and if you are interested in more racing that we have, you can join us Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are also home to the Online Motorsports Association's Virtual Racing Championships. They run the next-gen Cup cars, and they do just a lot of like your standard NASCAR tracks, but also a couple that aren't your standard ones. Like we're going to Long Beach in, I think it's 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be some really exciting racing, I think, because Chicago, as much as I wanted to hate it, I actually enjoyed the Chicago street circuit. But Long Beach could be really, really fun because there's some variety in that track as opposed to Chicago. Enough of me talking, though. Let's get back into the racing as we're going green flag racing. A really quick jump here from Trevor Edwards. He's going to try and dive to the inside and hold that inside. Dustin Monmarquette says you're not going to get it that easy as he tries to go down low. Can't get the car onto the inside. And so it's going to be Trevor Edwards holding on to the lead. Battle for third place. Back at it again, but it seems like Justin Crowe is going to be able to hold on as Josh Parrish still riding around on that outside line. So now he's going to be battling on for fourth place with Deweese, and he's also got Caber and Tufts both waiting behind for an opportunity. He's been trying to hold on a little bit of a bump there between the 00 and the 54. We are 2x2 all the way through. They are Doran all the way down the front stretch behind here. 3 wide into 1. It's not going to work. There's not enough room. Aaron Johnson has to back up, almost causing a bit of a mayhem through turns 1 and 2. Very sketchy moment. Not a lot of room to move, and they squeeze those cars about as hard as you could going through those corners. Aaron Johnson now going side by side with Spencer Dickinson, trying to see if he can make that outside work. He did a pretty good job last week making the outside work as he scored his third place at Myrtle Beach. Trying to see if he can work his way back up the field. It just hasn't been his kind of race so far, though, as he's gained a couple spots. He's actually just won at this point. He was up a few more, but with the restarts, looks like he's dropped back a little bit. Josh Parrish, though, he is currently on the slide, stuck on that outside line, just can't seem to get that car to grip the same way he was earlier, riding that inside. Currently back to 7th place, and looks like he might continue to slide as Hayes is on that inside. Gets a little bit of momentum, and contact with the 54. Can they keep it together? No! He ends up turning the 54, and he's going to get tagged in it as well. Oh, Big Rex further behind. We got the 71 of Rogers. Looks like the 12. The 18 involved. The 11 of Shannon Wilder. Lots of drivers caught in that one. And it looks like maybe Bishner again getting caught up in it. So let's go take a look here again at that one. You can ride on board here from Josh Parrish. And we'll see just what ended up happening there. I mean, because it seemed like they had it negotiated going into turn 2. He had backed off, but then it just seemed like a little bit of impatience gets into him a little bit. Continues to bump him, and yeah, just impatient. Wanted to just drive through him, and then nothing that some of these drivers could do. I mean, that's unfortunate, but further behind was where the real chaos was, where they were checking up. We'll go ride on board here with the 71 of Devin Rogers. You can see there on the outside line up by the wall. They're up high, bumping. I think a lot of the drivers didn't expect Parrish to come down the field. Oh, he just got turned. Oh my gosh. He caught the tire there from the pit wall. We're gonna look that back here at the TV angle so we can get a better view of it. I didn't realize he hit the pit wall. Actually, let's look at the blimp so you can see from a higher angle kind of what's going on from all over the field here. A little bit of check up. Yeah, Dylan Williams didn't see him checking up as much. He goes, did he go over the 17? No, he just went up on top of the hood there for the 17 and 15. You also have the 49 involved. Cade Green just barely survived it somehow. He just always seems to be right around the chaos. That was about 6 drivers involved in that one. Really unfortunate for them. what seemed like it should have been able to be negotiated pretty well ended up causing a good bit of chaos throughout the field. But we're getting close to our final laps here, 30 to go. And currently Trevor Edwards, again, looking to win a second race here. Finds himself in first place with teammate Monborquette still behind. Don't be surprised if we see Crow try and make a move here on one of these restarts, because he has been patiently waiting back here in the second row, every restart right behind Edwards, but it's timing those restarts with him that has been a bit of the problem. He just can't seem to be able to push the same way that Edwards does on the restart. Then he catches up and can try and make a move on Monborquette, but he's able to slide into third very, very nicely. How much longer is he going to have that patience is the big question. We're getting ready to go green flag racing again. 28 to go. Here we go. Green flag out yet again at the Pensacola 100 as side by side Monborquette and Edwards. Monborquette couldn't get it done on the inside last time. Now he's going to try the outside. Sees the bumper here. The rear quarter panel about the door now. Coming through the backstretch. Long side again. He's going to back off. Maybe try a different approach. Going to swing it. Maybe for a not a wraparound, that's the wrong term there, but it's not going to matter. He's not going to get a move on the front stretch. The term I was looking for was the crossover. Doesn't get the crossover opportunity, though. So now it's side by side here, battling it out for fourth place. And you've got the 99 of Hayes as well in there, trying to see if he can fight and work his way up to the top 5. He slowly worked his way up 7 spots from his starting position of 13th. He's got Johnson on his inside, but these four really have been going at it every time we go on a restart. They seem to just stick side by side. Nobody really has the advantage, whether it's the inside or the outside, because you can see the 13 of Deweese does a really good job there. He is holding down that outside line really well and actually has a little bit more pace at times than we see from Caden Tufts on that inside line. The benefit that Tufts has is that inside line just a little bit shorter distance, and he can have a little bit extra support here from Aaron Johnson, though he breaks a little loose on the exit, tries to get back in line, gonna force Johnson to have to back off. This might be the opportunity for Deweese to make the clear and work his way cleanly up into 5th. Not clear going into 1. Gonna try it again through 1 and 2 as now Hayes gets into Tufts, and oh my gosh, Kennison got sent, and we got a couple drivers sliding through the backstretch. And just some really good racing there. They were battling real hard. Not much you can do. We'll see. We'll go back again. I believe it was from Aaron Johnson. We'll see just how it looked from their perspective to see what they were looking at. Because he was clear and then he gave him the space, but it almost seemed like maybe he broke loose into 3 a little. Sorry, coming out of it. Yeah, so cool. Not cool. Hayes there. Let's go back and watch that from Hayes, because he had a good run coming around too. And it almost seemed like Tufts maybe washed up a little bit. It's hard to tell here looking around. He comes down maybe a little far. I mean, it's just more of a racing deal than anything. It didn't seem like it was, yeah, he washed up into him or he had the run and didn't slow up or anything. It's a racing deal. They're going for the same space. Nothing really crazy happening there, but let's take a look here. What happened to Leon Keniston? Because he had gotten sent coming out of 2. Oh, caution came out and he checked up, but Dickinson didn't really check up the same way, and then he got sent. So that's what happened there for the 93. That's why he came sliding in hot into the backstretch right into Tufts. So lots of drivers suffering from some damage right now. A couple drivers a lap down. We have Leon Kennison currently in pit road. He's going to be at least 1 lap down. Tufts a couple laps down, and a couple drivers have called it a night here. Those drivers being Josh Parrish, Devin Rodzers, Sean Cool, and it looks like Donald Clark. He's still on pit road, but he's been there for quite a while, so I would assume at this point he's probably called it a night here and taking it to the hauler for next week's race at Southern National. What's going on, guys? Thank you for those of you just tuning in. You have missed some really good racing. We had our first run was about 38 green flag laps. And it's been on and off here lately, but a great start to the race. And even still, it's been some really tight racing. Nobody really having some dirty moves, just racing deals here and there. I mean, it's tight track, fast track, and you're fighting hard for position as we're getting into the dying laps. Some beating and banging is to be expected, especially in these late model cars that can take a couple hits. So we're going to go green flag racing with what should be 17 laps to go, because we should be going green this time around. So the race for not only the win, but the chance to race for the Dash for Cash next week is on. Pace truck is off. Dustin Monborquette tries to time it with Trevor Edwards, almost gets ahead of him, and so he's going to have to back off as they go, and then there's a caution. Lots of chaos up front as we see a driver on his side. I believe it was a 54. Yeah, that would be Caber. Ended up on his side. So we'll go back here. It seemed like it probably stemmed from the checkup from Monborquette. Let's take a look here on board. What brought out that caution? This is the wrong one. That is the previous caution. We want the one that just happened on that restart. You're on board with Leon. Sorry, this would be Cole Caber, the driver of what is the 54, and that is very confusing to see what happened on the inside line. Maybe they were expecting Edwards to go sooner because he had been going early on the restarts. Let's go up a little bit further here in the field. And let's take a look here. I believe it was Sean Hayes. And what happened here up at the front? They check up. Oh, yeah, Great's just getting really aggressive again. And that's what caused everything to happen. Try to time it. And here's the thing. I mean, these drivers know it. You're not going to win the race from row 5 on a restart like that. It's just not going to happen. Being aggressive, not the play. We have our 6th caution of the night. We'll be going green flag racing. Not too many more to go. It looks like we should have, I believe the pace truck lights will go off this time around. Will make us 12 to go when we take the green. And it has been some really just tight racing throughout the field. I think sometimes maybe could use a little bit more caution as we go through some of these moments. So some of the side-by-sides here lately, we haven't been making the cleanest of runs, but overall still some really good racing, and hopefully we can finish this race under green. Last week we were able to at Myrtle Beach. We'll see if we can do it here tonight at the Pensacola 100 in 5 flags, but we'll be going green flag this time around. So my apologies, I thought it was going to be the last time, but we are going to get the lights off, the 1 to go. So we're going to stack it up here. We'll have 11 laps to see if we can finish this out under green flag conditions. So cross your fingers real hard, and let's hope we can get that done. Dustin Monborquette tried time and time again. He can't seem to work his way around the 32 of Trevor Edwards. He has tried different angles, many different approaches, just can't seem to get it done. So we'll see if he can work it here. What is going to be the play here from Trevor Edwards? He checked up the field a little bit. That caused Monborquette to have to really hold up on the restart. Gonna try and time it again. Doesn't get it. As you see Trevor Edwards get ahead, he's gonna be able to take that lead going into turn 1. Looking behind Deweese, trying to see if he can fight for 2nd place, but it's not gonna be enough to catch up with Monborquette. So now he's got to fight the 86 behind of Justin Crow. Crow's got a bit of traffic behind him there with Aaron Johnson and Cody Baim side by side. But he's looking right in front of him, trying to see if he can work to the inside of Deweese. Battle for 3rd place, a chance for the podium. But both these drivers right now currently in for the Dash for Cash. So they're going to see if they can hold on to that, as a little bit of a slide there from the 86 coming out of turn 4 there. Further behind, some battling going on. This is the 6 here of Dickinson alongside the 15, but he's actually 3 on the timing board here, of Dave Bishner. It's a good run there from the 15. He's going to be able to work his way around the 6. He's going to try and see if he can get back up to the top 10. You've got Tyler Barnes. We haven't seen him too much. He's just kind of been trying to avoid the chaos here throughout the field. And he has slowly worked his way up to 10th place because of that. A little bit of a beat-up car there in that Dale Earnhardt tribute. But right in front, we have almost 3 wide going into turn 1. Cody Bame able to pull ahead of it. But this is side-by-side Kieran Church, Dylan Williams. As Williams going to dive on the inside, try and see if he can carry some speed through the entry, but what a turn there from Williams. A little bit of a tag on Church. That's going to cause Church to break loose, and that's going to be clear here for Dylan Williams as they are tight here. Cody Bame a little bit slower on entry than I think they were anticipating, and so almost getting into the back end is the 22, and oh, Cody Bame has to really save that. What a save from Cody Bame, keeping those green flag racing with 5 to go, costing Dylan Williams some spots, unfortunately, though, as he's side by side with Dickinson further back. Looking back, the fight for second place heating up. DeWeese gets the inside of Montborquette as he gets him on the exit. Can he carry the speed through turns 1 and 2, be able to get the exit here? Montborquette's going to have the momentum, but he's also fighting on the inside now with Crow. Crow trying to see if he can work his way into this fight for second as well. Louis sliding out of turn 4. That's going to be a huge break for Montborquette as he's going to be clear just barely going into turn 1. With 2 to go, the popsicle sticks are out, and it looks like Barney the Flagman is going to give them out to Trevor Edwards here as they come around to the front. Deweese almost puts the bumper to Montborquette, trying to see if he can make a move. He's got just a couple more corners to be able to make it happen here, fighting for second place. Right behind, a fight for a spot in the dash for cash. You've got Justin Crow and Aaron Williams trying to see if they can make their way in as Crow dives to the inside, doesn't get the car all the way to the bottom. Hayes is ready to jump on a mistake. White flag out. We take the white flag. This race is official. Trevor Edwards way out in front, but the battle for second is heating up as you got Deweese and Montborquette side by side. Deweese loose again out of 2. Can he send it into 3 as he goes deep into turn 3? They're side by side and on the exit out of turn 4. It's going to be Montborquette holding on for a second straight second place, but Deweese gets third. Aaron Johnson will be your 4th driver in the Dash for Cash next week at Southern National. So a great race here all around. Some phenomenal racing, and what a battle at the end for that those final spots into the Dash for Cash. But let's go through your final results here for tonight's Pensacola 100. The race winner, Trevor Edwards, he won by about a second tonight over Dustin Montborquette. Braxton Weiss rounds out the podium. In 4th place, we have Aaron Johnson. 5th place, rounding out the top 5, is Justin Crow. Sean Hayes coming in 6th. Kieran Church in 7th. Dylan Williams in 8th. Then Cody Bame in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 will be Dave Bishner. So he worked his way up. Good battling after the car just had some damage all the way around, and he fought through all that adversity really, really well. In 11th, we've got Spencer Dickinson. 12th is Lucas Martin. 13th, Tyler Barnes. 14th, Josh Oswald. 15th, Andy Ennis. 16th, Shannon Wilder. 17th, Leon Kenniston. And in 18th, Cade Green. In 19th, we have Caden Tufts. In 20th, Alex Greats. Then Nathan Bryant was 21st. Cole Caber in 22nd. Josh Parrish, 23rd. Devin Rogers, 24th. Sean Cole, 25th. And rounding out your field tonight was the 26th, Donald Clark. So we're going to try and get our top 3 finishers in here for some interviews real quick. But those top 4 drivers, Aaron Johnson, Braxton Deweese, Dustin Montborquette, and Trevor Edwards, will be fighting next week for an opportunity to win $100. So that we'll see who's going to be victorious at that next week for our first of 3 Dash for Cash races. But we should have, let's see if Braxton Deweese is here in the Discord. See if we can get him pulled in. And yes, he is. So we're going to go ahead and pull him on up. Maybe. Hold on. Give me one moment here, guys. All right, so just again, a reminder, next week's race, we will be at Southern National, and so that'll be a really exciting race, a little bit of a different track, but it is similar in style to Five Flags. But we have our third place finisher, Braxton Deweese, and Braxton, a really good race for you, and quite the battle there on the final restart with Dustin Monbourquette. Overall, a great race. Oh, hang on. There we go. Now I've got you. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, you're all good. I'm really happy with the pace that we had there. I was really happy with the qualifying pace we had as well, starting second. Honestly, I didn't really expect that, but the car felt pretty good. So, it felt pretty good to come out in my first race and be 0.003 of a second off from pole. So, that's kind of cool for me personally. But we fell back there to around fifth or sixth or something like that, I believe. And we kind of just cruised around there for about first half of the race before all the cautions started to happen. But once the cautions started happening, it was like, all right, it's go time. You got to make up some positions when you can. So, that's what we tried to do. And we got a little loose a couple times, that's for sure. I can't remember. I think it was Justin who was below me. He checked up for me. So I really do appreciate him for doing that. Some people don't, and it just because it's a big wreck. And, he was aware of that. So I appreciate him. Just glad that we could, honestly have the pace there. And I was kind of worried about being a little loose there at the end of the run. I just had to be a little bit patient, and it'd be a little loose but manageable. So, it was a good battle there with Dustin, and just really happy with our performance in the first race here.
I mean, a great first showing. There were several first comers. Like you said, Justin was one of them as well. Did a phenomenal job. It was really good racing all the way around, and we saw you really try multiple times. I mean, you were fighting with Josh for a while. You were fighting with Justin. You then fighting with Dustin there at the end. Lots of really good battles that you found yourself in. But that last run, after that last restart, trying to work your way around Dustin, it seemed like every time that you tried to get around him, you had the pace, you had it, and then the car just broke loose. What was going on with the car? Was it just car you pushed too hard, tires were just worn? What was going on with the car there at the end?
Yeah, it could have been a miscue on an adjustment just by one little thing, but or it could have been me just pushing there at the end when the tires just been really hot and not having a chance to cool off, since we were all kind of pushing there. So I felt like if I would have made a different adjustment there, we could have been obviously a little bit tighter there, so we could have a little bit more drive off without the looseness. But this is kind of a new thing for me with the open late model stock, so I'm here to learn and go forward and see if we can get better.
All right, well, Braxton, before we have you head on out for the night to get ready for Southern National next week, anything you would like to say, or anybody else anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank everybody that's on the car, especially the main sponsor of Interstate Ford. They're pretty much a main sponsor with all the late model stuff I have going on right now. So, I really do appreciate that, and hopefully that can become something in the future in real life as well. So, I also want to give a big shout out to EPI of Elite Performance Industries. I just joined them, of the short track team. So, this is one of the first couple races I've done with them. This is the first league race I've done with open setup and stuff. So, it was a pretty good showing and good race for EPI and for myself in general. So, I also want to give a shout out to Allen's Arts Images, Blaze Designs, Unrivaled Photography, and everybody else that tunes in and watches. I really do appreciate it, and we're going to look forward to Southern National and see if we can get a little bit more of that drive off there and maybe be a couple spots better. But we had a good run, so. If we could just keep this up and be consistent in the top 5 and be around there, I'll be happy with that, and we'll look forward to the rest of the upcoming races.
All right, well, Braxton, thanks again for joining me here in the booth, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish, and best of luck next week in the Dash for Cash at Southern National.
I appreciate it. You have a good one.
You too. We're going to bring in our 2nd place finisher. Unfortunately, couldn't just match the pace that Trevor Edwards had. 2nd place yet again, but he's going to get it eventually. We've got Dustin Monbourquette in the air in the booth. And Dustin, we just talked with Braxton. After that last restart, it was one heck of a battle between you and him coming around for that checkered flag.
Yeah, honestly, I had a really good car all race again. Just trying to ride behind Trevor and keep the right rear under it, and I don't know. I felt good until the second last restart. I got a little tight and kind of worried me, and then didn't think much of it. And the last restart, it just snugged up way too much, and I just tried to hold on for all it was worth.
Well, it was still phenomenal battling for you. We saw a couple times you try and make moves on Trevor, just couldn't seem to get it done. Unfortunately, gave me flashbacks to Myrtle Beach. You had opportunities, just couldn't seem to make it stick. But going to those restarts towards the end, we saw you try and mix up your strategy to try and time when Trevor was going to go. Were you trying to see if you could jump the start with him? What was going on there? What was the strategy?
No, I was just trying to anticipate it, and I guessed wrong a few times, honestly. It happens, though. I don't know. I can't complain. Trevor's really hard to beat in this car. He's really, really good. To come home second to him 2 weeks in a row, it's a good feeling.
Well, hey, it was phenomenal racing for you. And next week, you get a chance to fight for the Dash for Cash and get yourself $100. So we'll see if hey, what a great way to get your first win. That would be an awesome one. But before we have you head on out, anybody you would like to thank? Anything else you would like to say?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a really good one to finally break the ice. But no, I just got to thank everyone back at the shop, everyone at Elite Performance Industries, Justin Brooks Designs for this car. Trevor, congrats to him for running such a good race again. And yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and Tyler and Cade and everyone for all their hard work with this league.
All right. Well, that was Dustin Monbourquette, your second place finisher here tonight at Five Flags, and is going to be competing in the Dash for Cash next week at Southern National. So good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring in back-to-back race winner, and he might say it should be 3-time, but it is Trevor Edwards, driver of the 32 machine. And Trevor, that was a heck of a drive you had tonight, and it just seemed like anything anybody threw at you just didn't seem to match what you had in that car tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We were good here a couple of weeks ago in the Motorsports Racing Association race, and the weather was actually pretty close, so we just kind of took that setup. In that race, we were a little bit tighter. It was like 25 laps longer, so took a little bit of gas out and loosened it up, and it was pretty good. It could have been a little bit better, but it was good enough for tonight, I guess.
Hey, it worked out beautifully. I mean, for a while there, you guys pulled away from the rest of the field, and even towards the end there, when we saw on the final restart, you pulled out to a whole second coming around to the checkered. Just phenomenal racing. You've done a phenomenal job wheeling this car around, and Dustin just told us you're one of the top ones in this car to try and beat, and so it makes it real tough. But looking forward, next week's a bit of a bigger race. It's our first Dash for Cash race, and whoever finishes the highest out of the top 4 from tonight, so that's you, Dustin, Braxton, and Aaron, gets $100. So there's going to be quite the battling going on. What do you expect going into this race at Southern National?
I mean, it's going to be a good race, I think. That race suits me a lot more than this high speed. I mean, here you're barely even using brakes. You're off throttle for maybe 2 seconds in each corner, not much at all. That place will suit my style a lot more, I hope. And it'd be cool because an EPI car is going to win $100 next week, no matter what. So we got all 4 of them. And that was kind of the goal coming in tonight. It was cool to see it happen.
Yeah, another really good showing for EPI. Last week, you guys took the top 5. You got 4 of the top 5 tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, we got 5 of the top 6. So Crow was in there. I mean, he's got really good setups too. Ryan works his tail off on that stuff, and they were really good in Five Flags and Sara too. So we knew that he was going to be good at least. So it's cool to have 5 of the top 6 right there at the end.
Yeah, phenomenal racing. But before we have you head on out to celebrate your second victory, anybody you would like to thank? Anything else you would like to say?
I just got to thank everybody at the shop, man. We put this together, and the car was really good. I got to thank Coddle Captures. He'll have some really cool screenshots of this car to go on Facebook later, on the shop Facebook. Got to thank Tyler over at Elite Performance Industries for bringing the whole shop on to run the short track program, essentially. I feel like we've taken it to the next level, been really good, especially in the longer races. We're pretty good in officials, but I feel like the longer races, we've really got it figured out. Justin Brooks Designs for painting this beautiful race car. And just want to thank you again for broadcasting this deal.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Trevor, and congratulations on your second straight win. And we look forward to seeing how you do next week at Southern National.
Thanks, man. I'll be there.
All right. So with all that being said, we want to take a moment to thank all of you for joining us here at No Name Gaming and Racing Lights Productions for the American Motorsports Association's Pensacola 100. Congratulations to Trevor Edwards for getting his second straight win in tonight's race. Make sure you join us next week as we head to our first Dash for Cash race at Southern National Motorsports Park, where the top 4 from tonight's race will compete for $100. We hope you all enjoyed our broadcast tonight. I want to thank the AMA for allowing us to bring this race to all of you. Be sure to check out Racing Lights Productions on Twitter with @RacingLightsPro, as well as over on Facebook and Instagram. You can also head over to the YouTube channel to check out any previous broadcasts that you may have missed. You can also join us this Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the OMA VRC Cup Series as they head up to the Miracle Mile at New Hampshire. That will take place at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alex Light saying good night to you from the virtual Five Flag Speedway. Thanks again for tuning in.